Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And on today's Going In Raw news brief, is Charlotte's WWE return happening soon? AEW comes close to breaking 1 million. But first, have the Wrestlemania 37 main events been revealed? Larson, what's in the news?
So, after months of rumors about potential WrestleMania 37 bouts, including The Rock versus Roman Reigns and Edge versus Randy Orton, WrestleVotes has provided us with the latest today. This is what they had to say. Quote, source stressed nothing is close to official or concrete, but as a working idea, the following is still being considered. Reigns versus Goldberg, Edge versus Orton, and an interesting twist, McIntyre versus Lesnar versus Keith Lee. Lots of variables in play, especially the attendance factor. So on yesterday's news brief, I think it was, we talked about Goldberg's remarks on the bump, where he declared that Roman is next, and Roman Reigns himself might have responded to Goldberg's remarks, tweeting, quote, I never wait in line. I am the attraction, and I choose who's next, and that's Kevin Owens. One last little bit of information here, potentially from WrestlingNews.co. They're reporting that a source has told them that, quote, Vince doesn't know how many fans will be allowed to attend the show. Talk about WrestleMania 37. They continue. He definitely wants fans there, and we will probably have to implement social distancing, but he would rather wait until WrestleMania 38 if Rock wants to do it. But we can't do the show in L.A. because of COVID. Vince wanted to do the match in L.A. to capitalize off the extra mainstream media buzz that would come with that match. More media outlets would attend the show because of the location, and Vince wants to get as many eyes on Roman as possible. I can't speak to the accuracy of WrestlingNews.co's report here. That being said, if that is in fact Vince's logic, it makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've always felt, wait to do The Rock in L.A. That makes all the sense in the world. I mean,
I guess
on.
Now the question is, because I feel like the storyline they got going now with Roman head of the table, the heel stuff, would work so well because people are going to cheer The Rock, you know?
Yeah.
And you, depending on what happens between now and WrestleMania 38, you always run the risk, even if Roman is like top babyface in the company, you throw him in a program with The Rock, it might bring out the booze again. You don't know. It would be a safer bet to go into that match, heel Roman versus face Rock.
100%.
Roman goes over, just all the heat on him. That would do wonders for Roman. I just don't know if they want to wait a whole other year plus with Roman being a heel. I just don't know.
Probably don't. They totally should.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me, man? I mean, dude. Here's the thing. It's a win-win situation. You keep him as a heel, right? And either he's going to get so much heel heat that it's just going to make it more electric, and it's going to be even more by the time, or he's going to do the thing where people are so into his work that they're going to flip him on their own. And the WWE does nothing but make him continue to be the same tribal chief that he is, and then let the fans decide. And then you have a more even, you got like a Rock Hogan type thing where they don't know, oh my God, we're just cheering this really cool thing happening right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's no losing if you just keep him heel.
Yeah.
Don't force any face turns or anything like that.
Nope.
I don't even know how they're going to do that anyways, because like for a face turn to happen, you really need a bigger threat to come along.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And as time goes by with Roman as a heel, you need a more, the name that beats him has to be even that much, more substantial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we wait a year for someone to finally beat Roman as, the head of the table, this heel iteration of Roman, it can't be someone that's just coming off like a 3-month build.
Yeah.
It's got to be a long-term substantial thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The longer this goes, especially. As far as the rest of the card that rest of us potentially talks about, we said yesterday, Roman versus Goldberg, that should be at the Rumble.
It should be at the Rumble. The Rumble always has big marquee matches. I mean, not WrestleMania marquee matches, but good size matches. Dude, give me Goldberg versus Roman. I don't want to see that at Mania. That should be a big story twist at WrestleMania, not just Goldberg, because that's going to be a boring build.
Yeah, it'll be a boring build, and the match will be 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't want to see that match at WrestleMania.
It'll be super short. Now, I guess the other one here, Drew versus Brock versus Keith Lee.
Turn Keith. I am totally thinking at this point that Keith Lee, the whole thing with him and Sheamus, where Keith Lee is like keeping tabs on Sheamus, and Sheamus is supposed to turn heel. It's Keith Lee turning heel. That's what's going to happen.
Could be.
Keith Lee is going to turn heel maybe by attacking Sheamus, as Sheamus is trying to help Drew in some way. Keith Lee needs to be. There's not room for Keith Lee and Drew McIntyre both as faces. Keith Lee needs to be a top heel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then that match is great. Are you kidding me? Because Keith Lee comes in there, thinking he's the biggest dude. Brock respects Keith. And Brock is sort of like, plays both sides anyways. And Drew is gonna come off as an actual underdog because he's got all this beef to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming out off of AJ Styles at TLC and maybe even the Rumble, depending on what they want to do with Drew at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I like that match a lot. Drew, Keith Lee, Lesnar.
That could be fun.
That's awesome. That
could be fun.
Yeah.
And other WWE news, I guess indication when Charlotte's coming back. Steve, what we got here?
So after months of being out of action, it appears that Charlotte Flair could be nearing a WWE return. Inside the Ropes is reporting, quote, plans for the return of Charlotte Flair are already locked in. Sources say the Queen insisted long-term plans were laid out before she returned to TV. That's called leverage, people. And it seems as though she has gotten her wish. Inside the Ropes also says that WrestleVote's report from early in the week about a possible Charlotte Andrade team-up isn't happening, noting that, quote, sources have told itrwrestling.com that while the idea may have been kicked around, an on-screen partnership between Charlotte and Andrade will not be happening and didn't even get as far as being pitched to Flair, and adds that, quote, Andrade's plans as of right now are completely separate. One also interesting note here is a report from Fightful that came out, I believe, yesterday. It was early yesterday. We didn't mention a news brief. I didn't bring it up to you for news brief, basically because, I want to give some of these Fightful stories room to breathe. You all should be subscribing to Fightful because they're terrific.
They are terrific. Go subscribe.
Getting all these, paying for them and then just putting them out there willy-nilly free for everybody. You should be giving some money to Fightful.
Yes.
Here's a report, though. It's been 24 hours. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this one here. It says, if you're upset over NXT's handling of Charlotte Flair earlier this year, you're definitely not alone, but it might not necessarily be their fault. Fightful was told that oftentimes when the NXT team would come up with creative or plans for Charlotte Flair when she appeared on their brand, it would often need to go through Raw, but would get shot down. Originally, Rhea Ripley was planned to win that match. I'm assuming the WrestleMania one with Charlotte.
I read it too.
Then changed to Charlotte. There is a big push within NXT to have Bianca Belair added even sooner than she was to their feud so that Charlotte could lose the match without taking the pin. One wrestler in NXT that we spoke to about the situation responded in a pessimistic manner, saying that those involved in the creative NXT should have known what they were getting into when they booked it. Again, it's one of those things where if NXT remains on their own island, they're probably fine, but there's always that thing where they can even be on their own island, but somebody can get called up.
Yep.
Plans be damned for NXT.
Seemingly,
they're still just considered a sub-brand to the main roster, which is a shame.
It is.
But all those plans that Triple H talked about, you'll find out in 2 or 3 months, torpedoed.
Yep. Seemingly between that, and I think Triple H also mentioned that the pandemic had a lot to do with altering those plans as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if AEW had planned on cracking 1 million viewers this week, but if they did, they were darn close. The ratings
pretty
are
close.
In. AEW, 995,000 viewers, placing second in the all-important 18 to 49 demo with 0.45. This is amongst cable shows. Meanwhile, NXT, 659,000 viewers, a 0.17. I believe that's 37th. And the all-important, it's really the only number that really matters, 18 to 49 demo. And that's what advertisers pay attention to. If you want to get those ad dollars, you got to do well in the 18 to 49 demo.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoyed NXT this week. Sting was on AEW. That was pretty cool, as was the Shaq-a-Roni.
Both shows are both shows are really good. Both shows are really good.
Exactly. If you like NXT, great. If you like AEW, great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah,
that's we should be happy for that.
That's good news for AEW, man. Almost 1 million viewers.
Massive.
That's terrific. So anyways, that's going to do it for News Brief. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time, I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.